Dr. Edeling, SAPRA recently wrote to Transformative Health Justice, which is a South African NPC you're familiar with, about its SAVAERS project, wanting to collaborate. What are your thoughts on this kind of approach from SAPRA? Do you find it strange at all? And how important is it for South Africa to have this independent reporting system that has no conflict of interest?
It is of great importance, Shabnam. First of all, I know, and I have stated publicly, that SAPRA does not deal honestly with the information that is reported on its VAERS reporting system. SAPRA had reported a certain number of post-vaccination deaths, which they wouldn't allocate or admit were due to the vaccines. They were going to investigate these. Eventually, they came out with a report on that investigation, which was simply a whitewash. The excuses, the arguments that they made, which led to their conclusion that not one of the deaths was actually due to the vaccine, were so transparent as to be really embarrassing. So I can't trust SAPRA to deal properly with that information. And for that reason, I'm really pleased that South Africa has an independent reporting system. However, I'm also concerned about the fact that voluntary reporting systems only pick up a very small proportion of actual events. We know with gender-based violence in South Africa, which is a huge problem, most cases go unreported. So, and I'm very interested in what Dr. Rose knows about this. When you see on the VAERS that you analyzed, Dr. Rose, that 8,000 people have died, what is your expectation of how many people have really died?
About 200,000 by my calculation, and that's based on the Pfizer phase 3 clinical trial SAE total. So if you want me to explain that, I can. Do we have time?
Please. Yes, please.
Okay, so I actually made a video recently, a summary of my work to date, which you can see on YouTube, still there. Just type in Jessica Rose VAERS update. And I outline how I did this. Phase 3 Pfizer clinical trial. There were about 18,000 people in the product group and 18,000 in the placebo group, and approximately, well, a certain number of people succumbed to severe adverse events in each group. So the rate of severe adverse event occurrence in the drug group, we'll call it, was 0.7%. So on a certain date, I think it was August 10th that I did this calculation, there were a certain number of people in the United States who'd received one dose of the Pfizer product. So I multiplied that times this percentage, rate of SAE occurrence, severe adverse event occurrence. And I came up with a number. And what that means, what that number is the expected number of people that would succumb to a severe adverse event based on their data. And then what I did was I took the count from VAERS of severe adverse events, which was approximately 80,000 at the time, and I divided the expected number over that observed number, and I got a multiplication factor of 31. In another way, you can, if the base data changes, a more reliable base data frame gives you 41. There's another paper that's just come out that has the underreporting factor, multiplication factor closer to 100. So there's a bunch of us who are approximating this number, but mine is by far the most conservative because it comes from a botched data set as far as I'm concerned. So if you just use that the lowest number of those three, you get about 200,000 deaths. You get like millions of emergency room visits and hospitalizations. It's really serious. I mean, we're literally talking about millions of injuries here. So, and everybody knows, everybody accepts, everyone working at the FDA, the CDC, VAERS, whatever, who they know, and it's been reported for a long time, that underreporting is a serious issue.